Today I'm going to be talking about the Havana 41 versus the Havana 48 Vanguard backpacks. If you're like me, you've probably searched the web trying to find a good review between the two or about both side by side and can't. So I ordered both and wanted to just see what's the real difference between the two. If you know me well, you're already aware that I already travel with and have a very excellent large camera bag that holds about all my camera gear that I need to take on a specific trip with me. But you're most likely here for the specs between the two Vanguard bags, so I'll get into those now. But if you want to hear why I was actually looking at the Vanguard bags in the first place, that'll come after I review the two, and if you want to jump to that now, check out the timestamp below. We'll start with the more affordable bag, the Havana 41. The main attraction of the Vanguard camera bags is that they double as a standard 2-in-1 backpack, where the top half you could keep regular day things and your bottom half doubles as the camera section. To get to that part, you just open up the main zipper at the bottom, and you pull it out, and you have the smaller bag for your camera that is velcroed into the bottom. You can then easily remove the whole bag separately, just by pulling at it, taking it out, moving it to the side. Alright, diving into this part of the bag, it looks like you got like a little handle to hold it, and then you got the velcro for the front, and then nothing on the back. A small little zipper, just open the bag. And this is what you kind of got looking into this. You got a pouch with 2 dividers in it. In the Vanguard overview, it says the Havana 41 backpack fits a DSLR with lens attached, 1 to 2 lenses, a flash, and accessories. Now let's see how much of that we can fit into the camera section of the backpack. So you can already kind of see the issue that we might have with this bag. So our second lens won't fit. The charger can go on top of this. The flash, probably not going to fit either. And then the shutter release cable, you can just probably find a way to just squeeze that in. Bring this back into the bag. Make sure that this is velcroed. And zip that up. One thing that they don't tell you in the specs online is that inside this main pouch right here, it's got a little built-in SD little pouch, and then in the back is this wall that you can just fit something small and thin behind, like a passport or a wallet. But to get back to the packing point, I assume this is where they'd want you to put your flash and maybe another lens. And then you got like a little bit of room. On one side we got a nice pouch that you can slide a water bottle into. If it's too small, too big, you got a drawstring where you can pull it tight. Then right above the water bottle you got 3 little holes right here that you could just quickly clip something to if you wanted to carry on the outside of your backpack. Then on the other side they've got the same thing, but they also include a little clip that looks like you can take fully off, so you can put it on either side of the bag, but this would help you secure a tripod or something large that you're trying to keep in the pouch. So pretend that this GorillaPod that I just stuffed in here is bigger. You can use the drawstring to secure it, and then you would use the clips to secure the top half of it so it's not going anywhere in your bag. Looking at the top of the bag, you have a second zipper. This pouch is so that you can put a computer in here. For a one-day trip or a one-day shoot, this bag nails everything. You've got a place for your tripod, your computer, your camera, a spare lens, a flash, a water bottle, and a few extra pouches to put some miscellaneous objects in. But now we have to get into the drawbacks of this bag. Let's say I'm out for the day and I need a raincoat, or I need something warm like a sweatshirt or a flannel. And let's say I'm traveling abroad and I need something to keep my passport and all my important travel documents in. And then let's just throw in a card reader on top of that. Alright, so the card reader can slide in nicely back here. Your travel pouch can fit. You jam it right back against the wall, so it looks like you'd have room to close everything up. Then, let's see, I think you'd have to make a choice. You could kind of fit the flannel in, but not really. Probably force the raincoat in. But it's kind of a short, you've got no room left. You can see the dilemma that we get into. So we might have to make compromises in the choices. Let's say the lens that you have on is a 24-70, you've got a lot of range. Let's say you don't need a second lens. And let's say during the day, you know it's gonna be well lit. You also just might not be able to afford traveling with the flash, so let's remove the flash. Then you could fit in a flannel, and then also your raincoat, if you forced it. So putting the bag on, to give you an idea of how big I am, I'm 6 feet tall, weigh 165, and I wear a large for a shirt size. Here's the view from the side. Here's a back view of the bag, and here's the other side. You can see that it's the same size as a regular backpack on my back, but if you're used to a camera bag, you're used to something being a lot lower on your back because of how physically big the bag is. One of the drawbacks about this bag that I kind of don't like is that the arms of the bag aren't that long physically. So if I want to adjust these at all, if I bring them tighter, then it kind of suffocates my arm. If I loosen it, then these ride up along the top, and if you've got short sleeves on, you're constantly rubbing your arm against the rough material of the strap. Which kind of leads into another small issue with this bag, is that the chest strap sliders are separated and stitched in. So I can't slide this up to here, and I can't slide it down to here. So that's a small problem. I could easily take this off and move it down one ring, so that's some more across my chest. But even still, it's way too high for a standard bag that'd be comfortable for someone of my size. Alright, now I'm going to start diving into the Havana 48 bag. So as you can see, it's a very similar build. You've got the main pocket at the bottom, you got a zipper across the front, which I didn't show in the other bag, but this also contains the rain cover. You got your main pouch up here, and then instead of on the top like the 41, your computer pouch is on the side. Alright, breaking into the main pouch of this bag, you can kind of see from a first glance, it's already a lot bigger than the other one, but not by much. So looking at these two bags side by side, you can see that the 48 is a little bit taller and longer than the 41, which kind of looks like about the size of a flash. So going back to the 41 where you had 2 slots inside, compared to 3 slots with the 48. The overview for the Vanguard 48 bag, it says it fits a DSLR with a lens attached, 2 to 3 lenses, a flash, and accessories. So let's see how much of it we can fit into this part of the bag. As you can see with my DSLR and lens attached and 2 lenses, it's already pretty crowded. So we're gonna have the same issue as we did with the other bag before, where we definitely can't have that extra lens in. We're either gonna have to substitute a flash instead, or maybe you just want that pocket for your accessories to go in there. You might be thinking you might be screwed because in the description it sounded like you could fit more into the 48 versus the 41, but then you come to realize you still have the same hesitations, just maybe a flash or a lens different. But I still managed to fit everything that I need in a regular bag, and I'll show you what that is in a second. So I was having some difficulty opening up the bag, and that's because right here on the zipper, you can see that it doesn't want to budge. And that's because, if you look closely, the zipper got caught on this little piece of fabric. So I was able to get the bag open. So you just want to be careful about this little piece right here that's really close to the zipper, because if that gets caught, you don't want to be breaking the zipper part, which is trying to force it open. So if you want to know what I actually put in this bag, or what I would be traveling with, is what I need it for is, I've got my drone and its controller, charger, release cable, neutral density filter, polarizer, and then a DSLR. Yeah, but let's say you're traveling and let's say you still need like your drone batteries, camera batteries, a hood, and then all the stuff that goes with the drone for charging and equipment, and let's even say a little prop to put on random places. To troubleshoot is you notice where the actual bag goes in the larger bag is you still have plenty of space up top, on the sides, below it, or even behind it, so you could take a plastic bag and then put your batteries, your cables, and vacs. You're not going to be using them during the day when you're trying to rip your bag out to shoot. You can usually just put it behind the bag or below the bag to also keep all your camera things in just the bottom half. Just like on the 41, the 48 also has the 2 water bottle pouches. You've got the holes on the side that clip stuff to. Just flip this around. You have the same pouch on the side, the same clipping mechanism for your tripod. Looking at the top part of the bag, it's a much larger pouch, so inside it, we still have the same SD slot for your cards, but we also have, instead of one long wall, we have 2 mesh pouches and then 2 little pencil pouches on this far side right there. The main difference is I can fit my travel pouch, my raincoat, and a sweatshirt or flannel in. And so I'll have just like enough space where if I find something while I'm traveling, I can stuff it in here with the rest for the day and then zip everything back up nicely without it bulging. So now with the bag on, as a reminder, I'm 6 feet tall, 165, and I've got about a large fur t-shirt on, so they give you about the size of my shoulders. With the bag on, here's the side view. As you can see, it goes down just a little bit further, kind of at that comfortable range that I normally like a backpack at. Here's the back view of the bag. Here's the other side. Now back to the front. With this bag, the arms are slightly longer, so there's more material to go all the way down, so I'm not rubbing my arms against the nylon of the straps. Because it goes down longer, I can adjust it to any kind of height or length I want, and I'm not really rubbing my arms against anything uncomfortable. The one downside is that with the other bag, this has the same issue where this can't just slide all the way up and down freely. You'd have to physically take it off the bag and adjust it to the height that you want. But since the arms are longer, it can reach a more comfortable chest level height than all the way up here, more around my neck. But the real plus side about this bag, which isn't mentioned at all in the description of the bag, is that it has these shoulder straps right here. So as you can kind of see, this kind of angles further down away from my back, but if I pull these straps up here tight, this forces the top of the bag up, putting more of the weight on my shoulders than on my back. So if you've got a very heavy camera bag and you're traveling or you're out for the day with most of your gear, all the weight's going to be on your shoulders and on your chest, especially if you have the chest piece connected, instead of all the pressure being on your lower back. Sorry for the sudden change in setting. It's been about a week since I can come back and record the second part of this video. So this part is just talking about why I was looking at these bags to begin with in the first place. When I went abroad in 2018 for my last semester, I went to Australia, but I knew I wanted to travel afterwards for about 2 months. So I had to really think about what I could actually bring with me. So instead of bringing a few suitcases and my camera backpack, I instead went out and got a Gregory brand backpacking bag to put all my things in that I keep about 2 weeks worth of clothes. And I brought my regular school backpack, so I just couldn't bring that much stuff with me. So in that backpack, I actually put camera padding in so I could put my camera safely at the bottom of the bag. Then on top, I would put my chargers, my sweatshirt, my raincoat, a water bottle, some snacks, or whatever I could fit into my bag. And then I'd have my computer in the computer section. Now, looking at the Vanguard backpack, the 2-in-1 series now comes in very helpful in this kind of situation because it allows you to keep your sweatshirts, your raincoats, your day-to-day things in the top half of the bag, while you can keep your camera and your other camera equipment accessible in the bottom half without interfering between the two. Because when I was traveling, I was finding that I have to take everything out of my backpack to then get my camera out and then put everything back in and my camera away to get up and move on to the next scene or move on to the next location or on the fly. But also another thing that you have to think about when you're traveling as a backpacker and you're alone and you can't afford that much is you don't have a safe place to put your things in. And that's because hostels have spots to keep your stuff for the day, but it isn't necessarily locked and other people could be around it, and you really just can't trust everyone you meet when you're traveling. So what you have to do during the day is, if you're at a hostel for 2 to 3 days, you would leave your actual bag or your luggage with all of your clothes and things that aren't necessarily valuable to you back at the hostel, maybe in a secluded place where no one might look or somewhere hidden, but you have to think about the risk that someone might find it and go through it. So you're gonna take all of your valuables with you. So when I was out, I would have my camera, my computer, my drone, all the cables, and anything else that's valuable to me on me during the day. So this 2-in-1 backpack allows me to keep my valuables and my computer and my raincoat and my sweatshirt completely separate from my camera. So on the fly I can go out, grab my camera from my bag, throw it back in, put it on my back, and keep moving. Oh, sorry, another thing is the fact that this bag actually has its own rain pouch installed makes it amazing when it comes to traveling, because when you're traveling and it's a torrential downpour, standard backpacks aren't waterproof. Knowing that I would have a rain cover built into my backpack was a huge plus, so I don't have to worry about the risk of my camera stuff getting wet with the regular backpack. If you want some tips on traveling alone or backpacking the areas I went to, if you check out my website, jc95.live, underneath the blog section, I have a bunch of write-ups about all the places I've been to and how I traveled and what I experienced while I was there.